Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another series review. It's Halloween, so naturally, we're going to be talking about Agatha All Along. Awesome Halloween stuff. I'm in my Punisher getup. Nick's in his Ferris Bueller. You look lovely, my friend.
And I have a mini-me.
Yes, it's lovely. It's beautiful. By the way, guys, right now Hannah's on trick-or-treat duty, but I got to go down there soon, so if you hear the dog bark or something, don't worry. It's going to be okay. And, yeah, listen, I'm super excited to talk about this show, actually, because I didn't do episode-to-episode reviews. I kind of wanted to let the whole show go and kind of just talk about the series as a whole. And I gotta say, I really liked this show, Nicholas.
As did I.
Like it a lot.
As did I.
And it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I didn't think I was going to hate the show, but the storytelling is so good. And, like, Marvel having showrunners now is such a great choice. Who knew?
I also think it's just a testament to, what solid writing can do for any project, and also just structuring things correctly, like you said with the showrunner, because Agatha All Along, to me, on its surface, is like, why does this show exist? It was a spin-off of a character who was a good character, but like, why do we need this show? And I think it had that uphill battle that just great writing resolved.
Yeah, no, I completely know what you're saying. And it's one of those things where every episode, I think, got a little bit better to the point where I think the last four are absolute bangers. Like
Yes.
6, 7, 8, 9. I think 7 was the best one they did. The Patti LuPone. By the way, spoilers. I didn't say that. We're going to be spoiling this show.
Oh yeah, big
So,
time.
warning, spoiler warning. But yeah, especially
I'd like to also clarify, when I say great writing, I meant great writing for Marvel.
come on. No, but that's yeah. I get what you're saying.
At least the first half of the show.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing to me. I think with how the end recontextualizes the show, I think it's going to have serious rewatchability. Just seeing it be able to slowly build as the series went. And like the 7th episode, as I mentioned before, is the best one. The one with Patti LuPone, and you see her throughout time. That was kind of built up throughout the season, and the way they were able to pull that off was great. And not only that, episode 8, the reveal that Billy, who was revealed in episode 6 or 5 or 6 to be Billy Maximoff, the son of the Scarlet Witch, the reveal that, like his mother, he created his own reality in the Witch's Road. And like Agatha, basically from that point on, was like, oh shit, okay. And like just her going with that. And dude, the revelation that she created that myth to kill witches is so good. Like, and honestly, where I'm proud of Marvel is like, she's not a hero. Like she was still just killing fools. And even to the point where Billy, who's a lot more sympathetic about it, but Billy did have that realization of, oh my God, I killed them. Like they were in my fortress and they died.
Yeah.
And like that, I thought that
goes back to Agatha saying like, oh, didn't think you had it in you. Just those little breadcrumbs that they spread throughout the series.
Yeah.
But
and it's
would not have guessed that that's where it was going.
No, but it totally works. It totally works. And I thought Aubrey Plaza as Death, which was a cool reveal. I thought that was great. The kiss of death with Agatha, I thought like that's pretty awesome. And I was overall really satisfied with the show. Is the show perfect? No. I think it does kind of rely on you thinking that it's funny or cheeky. And sometimes it is, and it works, but there are other times where it's not. And the scripts kind of rely on, oh, we can live in this moment because look at how cheeky it is. And then sometimes you're like, I would like to get to the next sequence. Like this, I'm kind of wrapped up with this sequence right now.
It's like we're telling you that this is campy fun, and we're using that as an excuse to stew in moments.
Yeah, exactly. But again, for the most part, the overall story structure and storytelling was exceptional. I think another negative I could give it, though, is for a show that is about Agatha, it does feel that way towards the last 2 episodes, especially the finale episodes all about Agatha. I thought that about 3 to 4 episodes in, I was like, this doesn't even feel like Agatha's show. Like, it feels like this is the Wiccan show. They just haven't told us that he's Wiccan yet. And it did feel like
they still haven't.
Yeah, right. Technically, they never said the name. You're right, but like, so there was some of that where I'm like, I feel like she's kind of getting sidelined in her own project. But again, in that finale episode, I thought that the storytelling in the last episode with her and her son was incredible.
No, I
I
thought that
really
was a
liked that.
great part of it. I think it started to lose me just like the last back end of that episode where it became, we got projects we got to set up. We can't just we got to tease something. And Ghost Agatha to me was a lot. You sent me a thing earlier. Didn't realize that was a comic thing.
Hmm.
So I guess
And
they are
as much of a
setting.
comic fan I
Yeah.
am, neither did I.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that was an interesting reveal. But I was like, I think I get it. Right. You needed some form of a redemption for a bad character, and death usually is that. And her just being this evil hag that's going to be mocking him and messing with him as a ghost, I thought was a good ending for the character. It was the let's go find Tommy in a project that hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah,
Like that. I think that's when it sort of started to trickle off. But the whole Agatha and her son Nicholas, like how that plays out, the whole montage. Although I leaned over at one point when we were watching it, and I was like, I think every dialogue this episode so far, like 20 minutes in, has just been the song.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it just kept. They were like, hey, we put it in every episode. This one's gonna be all it.
I will say though, I am glad that there was a
Hmm.
significance to the song because they
Yeah.
kept playing it throughout the show, and I'm like, all right, I like the song, but if they're going to
Hmm.
keep going back to it this often, it has to have some sort of story significance. And I liked that they made it and that it was
Yeah.
like the whole thing. I liked the reveal. I think again upon rewatches, it's really going to work, but during the journey, it did annoy me. I liked the resolution, but during the journey, I was like, Jesus Christ, they keep playing the song. And I liked the song, but I was
Yeah.
just like, this is keeps happening.
Yeah.
Another thing I'll
Whereas
give
like
it. Oh,
in
go ahead.
WandaVision, each theme had like a different genre to it. They did the old intros. This one it was just like, and here's a rock version and here's a cappella. And it was like, all right, but like can you give me more song? Like it was just the same. They were just hammering I mean, each episode title is a lyric.
Yeah, yeah. And
And oh good.
no, no, you finish up.
Oh no, I have a different thought off of
Yeah.
the
I'm going to a new thought too.
cool.
Something I'll give the show. Permanent deaths.
Yeah,
Some
for now.
like 3 at least. There's the dog if you can hear him. Sorry everybody.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, permanent deaths, and it really kind of set a new stage for Marvel, hopefully, of like add some stakes to your storytelling. And I think part of having a showrunner is what allowed that to happen.
Yeah. I thought interesting though of those who did survive, leaving Jennifer Kale. I'm not familiar with her character. She is a comic character. They sort of set her up of like she got away, and I was like, I don't understand the storytelling significance of that at that
It
point.
it might be a comics thing that I'm unfamiliar with, or
Yeah,
maybe they just like that character, like the actress, and they're like, we want to be able to use you if we need you.
yeah. I get, and maybe it is the storytelling thing of she was bound to Agatha as part of the coven, unwittingly had her magic stole, so maybe it was just her completed character arc was getting away.
That's true.
But
And
it just seemed interesting from that perspective.
yeah, and I also liked the sequence where Agatha helps Billy put Tommy in a body, and
Mhm, and he was like, "Am I killing a boy?"
I loved that line, and I loved that moment. I thought that because again, if you're gonna have a villain show that's also fun and tongue in cheek and all that stuff, like I want to still feel
Yeah.
the villainy. And listen, Marvel and DC. I mean, the Penguin. Oh my God, the Penguin's fucking killing it on TV right now. It's
I
one
mean,
of the best
that's
shows
the
on.
hardest part is comparing this when Penguin's running at the same
No,
time,
of
because
course,
I
of
think
course.
Penguin is significantly better in
I,
every aspect.
I do too, but I also think they're
Yeah.
diametrically different shows.
They are.
Like
No, they
it's
are.
the movie comparison is like let's compare Hocus Pocus to Talk to Me. It's like it's
They are, but even if you're
incredibly
just looking
different.
at a quality level,
I
like
would argue that the
yeah,
storytelling in Agatha is on the same level. I think script to script, Penguin is much stronger. But on an overall storytelling level, like the storytelling
no, they
done on
pieced everything
Agatha,
together very well. Yeah,
yes, and which is not what you can say for a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, who have finale
that
episodes
is
that just
accurate.
completely fall off, and you're like, what was even the story here? And so it was
I
nice to
really
see the
liked
opposite of that.
I really liked the 2 episode finale.
Mm,
I think
yes.
that alleviated sort of any disappointments that I may have had with everything, and then I liked the idea of the episode beforehand being your big blasty battle between the villain. I liked that setup, but I think I would have been a little disappointed by the finale if I had to wait a week after that.
I agree. I agree.
So
It was
I
smart.
think that was a strong structural move that I hope they kind of continue with.
Yeah,
Not
I agree.
necessarily getting the full resolve in the episode beforehand, but just the idea of like, here's the last two episodes, enjoy. And I think that would open up a lot of more interesting storytelling opportunities
I
for
agree.
Marvel.
And going back to like the beginning of the show, I don't know if I don't know this. This is information I know. This is just what it felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like the first two episodes were supposed to be one long pilot that they just cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, stop doing that. I think that episode as a long pilot works fundamentally better than two episodes. And yes, they dropped them both at the same time, so technically, if you watch them back to back, they're but it felt like the first episode just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And with the second episode literally picking up at that scene, I was like, okay. So I felt like this was a long pilot. And just from a
make an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Just from a structure standpoint, like ending the pilot episode with them going on the Witch's Road just feels like that's what was supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. But again, overall, really pleasantly surprised with the show.
Mm-hmm.
On the DC side, Penguin is unfucking believably good, and we're definitely going to do a series review when that wraps up. Oh my god, what a series. But I really liked the show. It wasn't perfect. It did stumble in a few places, but overall, solid show. I think that Marvel not trying to make it as four-quadrant as they try to shoehorn their other projects really helped this. And if I don't think they'll necessarily do Agatha season 2, but they'll definitely continue this part of the story somehow in the universe. And I'd love to see what the next one is.
I mean, I'm sure we're definitely going to get these threads of, they've been setting up Young Avengers for quite some time. I wouldn't be surprised if Wiccan and Speed are a part of that lineup. Right. Maybe it is a Wiccan show or maybe a Wiccan movie. There's that long rumored Scarlet Witch movie in development, or I don't know if it's in development, but
we'll see.
Been waiting to happen, and Vision Quest is happening. So, the parts of the Westview crew are all there for this story to kind of continue through, which I think is something Marvel hasn't had in a bit, which I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
My theory, I don't know this. I don't know this. My theory, because originally Jac Schaeffer was going to work on the Vision show, but she stepped away, and they brought in Terry Metalis. I think she stepped away because she's going to write and direct a Scarlet Witch movie. And and that's why she stepped away. And I do think Vision will somewhat tie into this, but I think it'll mostly be its own thing. So, either way, I'm interested. I like what they're doing. I like spooky Marvel. So keep it up.
It'd definitely be a good rewatch, especially next Halloween time and everything like that. Because I think especially with how it plays out at the end with the twist of it all being fake, I think adds a lot of rewatchability to wanting to go look for those clues.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And I think it self-isolated itself enough from the greater Marvel universe that it doesn't you're like, oh, I have to watch this and 5 other things to be, caught up to speed, yes, with WandaVision, but I feel like you can really just watch these 9 episodes. You could even just I might just go rewatch episode 7 again.
Yeah, and
honestly, I don't even think I necessarily need to watch beginning to end.
And it's a good standalone story enough to where I think people could reverse engineer excitement, where someone could watch this show first and love it so much and be like, man, they referenced that WandaVision show a lot. I'm going to go watch that. And then, you kind of go backwards. I could see that happening too. And like you said, its standaloneness not only helped its storytelling, but it also just helps bring people who normally probably wouldn't watch something Marvel. Now, granted, spooky teen witches, and Marvel have a hell of a crossover with their fan bases, but there are some people who are really into that who just superheroes aren't their thing, but witches are. So this will
and Aubrey Plaza,
everyone's.
I feel like Aubrey Plaza brought in a big fan.
Yes.
To this episode, this series,
and they should all go watch Legion, the first Marvel show she was in, because it's brilliant.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, final thoughts. I thought this was a solid show. Wasn't perfect, but it was much better than I expected it being. I was emotionally moved. I laughed. I thought the storytelling, especially in the last half of the episodes, was really well done. And I look forward to what they got next.
Yeah, I don't think it reached the heights of something like WandaVision and Loki just consistently
Yeah,
throughout, especially like I think the back half of Agatha is a lot stronger than the front half.
agreed.
But I think that they definitely stuck the landing very well. I think structurally it was very sound compared to other Marvel projects. I think that this should be at a minimum a baseline for quality of these series going forward. I think I would love to
Yes.
say WandaVision and Loki should be the standard, but we know that's never going to happen.
No.
So, if they at least hit Agatha quality, I think that that's a step in the right direction.
Daredevil's next.
Daredevil better surpass all of them.
And
But,
here's the thing. I'm a generally positive person. I will be harsh on Daredevil if I don't like it. And I will be, because it's the original's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
If I
You
don't
might
like
have
it.
I think you're gonna have a bias.
I mean, yeah, I'm predisposed to liking it,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling if I watched the show that they were making, I would have been pissed off about the show.
Probably.
So, we'll see. We'll see as we get there. But that'll do it for this review, guys. What did you think of Agatha All Along? Please let us know in the comments. We'd love to see them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.